Hi everybody, I'm Lauren Michaels with Four Winds Powered Paragliding here down here in Avon Park, Florida. I just wanted to put out this quick video showing what it would look like when you receive your P.AP Tinox Moster 185 motor. This is the unboxing and assembly of the unit, the way it would come to you. It'll show up with two packages. You've got your main frame, harness, and motor in this box, and in this one you're going to have your 4 cage pieces and your exhaust. So let's get to it. I've already popped the boxes open briefly, so save a little time for the video. Inside the box, first off, you're going to find your packet here. It's going to have your belt tightening tool, your owner's manual. Looks like it comes with a couple of t-shirts now. Also your CD for your Viterazzi Moster 185 manual. The packaging for your Trail Tech tachometer and hour meter. It's already installed on the unit, but it just tells you how to work it. In this box also you'll find your prop along with prop covers. Pull the paramotor out of the box. First thing you'll do is just remove all this packaging material. This is the latest edition, the Moster 185. It's the MY19. Has the 4-spring exhaust, all the bells and whistles. In this box, like I mentioned before, we have, you'll find the exhaust for the motor. And your cage pieces. Be careful not to scratch your exhaust. Cutting the plastic off, obviously. They do a nice job of wrapping it in bubble wrap and then the cellophane. So installing the exhaust, you're going to need 10mm wrench and a 10mm socket. And nice to have a spring tool. So from here, first thing we're going to do is remove the nuts off of the rubber bushings that mounts the exhaust. Take the washer and the nut off of both of these. The third bushing is already located on the exhaust. So you simply have to take the nut off that goes on the back side of the bracket. And finally, take that nut off. So we just simply set it up in place. If this doesn't line right up, you may have to take your hand and push down on the rubber grommet there a little bit, the bushing, to get the hole to line up. Once that one lines up, it should be pretty easy from there to just slide the whole exhaust on. And it'll just hang there on these 3 points. Put your washer and your copper nut back in place. Washer and copper nut on this guy over here. That's probably the trickiest one to get to. It's behind the silencer. There you go. There. And then finally, just the nut, no washer, on the back of the bracket. Right there. And this is all factory Viterazzi. There you go. Now I'm gonna rotate the motor around here so I can see what I'm doing. Make sure my exhaust is lined up clean. All the mother bolts are in a laxed position. I'll take my spring tool and just connect one of these guys. Right there. I'll go to the opposite corner, connect the one in the back. Right there. Now this one. Connected. Last one. Right there. That's all good. Now I'm just going to simply tighten up the other 3 mounting points. Again, I just want to make sure everything's in a nice laxed position, nothing's under a bind. It feels pretty good. I'll start with this guy. Notice there's a line on the rubber bushing, just a mold line right there. This is a nice indicator to tell me if the bushing is under strain like this. If I were to keep tightening on this, it might look like that. That's under a load all the time. I like to try to make sure I hold those straight. If I can't do it with my fingers, then I'll get a pair of pliers on there and hold the bushing straight until I get it to seat nice and tight. So, let's see if I can get it with my fingers. There we go, nice straight line. So that's what I want to see. Now, there are torque specs for nearly everything on the motor in the Viterazzi manual. You can pick up a torque wrench. I'm sure everything will be in newton meters. It's not hard to do. Okay. And then my last one. Again, holding that bushing towards straight, not under a bind. There we go. Everything is good. Exhaust is complete. Now, we'll move on to the next phase. It comes with the spark plug already in the motor, but I like to take a look at it. Notice the plug has pretty good color on it already. So when you start this up for the first time, it's not the first time. They've actually put just a little bit of time on this motor through their quality control of the product. Set that back in there. Okay. This is where we'll install our plug boot. Before I do that though, you'll notice that it comes with a plug that has the ability for this cap to thread off. When this plug finally gives me any kind of trouble whatsoever, I'll replace it with a spark plug that doesn't have a top that threads off, a solid top plug. We'll go ahead and put the frame together before I put the prop on. Open up my frame bag. This is an upper quarter. It goes on this side. The reason I know that is because it doesn't have the pull start bracket on it. Touch the little button, drop it in place. The next one, this is a lower quarter, okay? Not very hard to figure out which one goes where, just based on the shape of the frame. Slip that guy in, once you're in a nice loose state, slip that in, line it up. And click. Go to the other side. This is another top quarter. I know where this one goes based on the fact that that's where my pull starter clip is. Set it in place. Right there. Pull my pull starter up. Set that in place. Right there. And finally the last piece. There. Lift this up. Set it in there. Line these up together and clip. Lastly, I'll tighten up my lower netting just a little bit. That's actually already snug. Let's see if this one is. Yeah, it's pretty snug too. All right, there we go. Frame is complete. So we'll always find our prop plate and bolts in the pocket on this side right here. Left-hand side in flight. Right there. Go ahead and unwrap this guy. When putting the prop together, you've got your P.AP stickers on one side and you've got your information stickers on the other. Okay? Just make sure you've got the same stickers on the same size as you puzzle piece it together. Line them up. Take your spacer off. Drop this down through. And then your bushing goes, or spacer rather, goes on the bottom. That. The P.AP stickers point out facing the world, and the information stickers point toward the motor. Just line it up. lined up. You can get one or two of them started. This is not a part that we want to use Loctite on because we want the ability to unthread and rethread these bolts easily and quickly for prop removal. But it is a part that we would constantly check to make sure it's still tight. Part of a pre-flight, post-flight kind of thing. We're good. Okay. Now we have to set up our hang points and attachment points. Okay? So I have to unwrap these. I'll probably put this in fast forward now, just to zip us through this process so you don't have to sit here and watch me fight with cellophane. Okay, so this screw right here, you could put a little Loctite on it after you're happy with where you've had it set. I wouldn't bother putting it on now because you don't know exactly where you want to set it just yet. This is just the preliminary, put it together. We're still going to slide it and adjust it where we want it. So once you're finally happy with where you want it, then you could run it out, put some Loctite on it, run it back in, and set it permanent. The heavier you are, the further forward you're going to need to make your hang point. In your owner's manual, it'll show a picture of the arms and it'll give a kilogram reading for each hole where you should set it. So that'll give you a rough idea of where you want to put it. And then from there, you just need to fine tune it a little bit. Loosen this. Set them the same, right there. Just knock it down. Again, not getting carried away with a bunch of torque. Notice the way I'm holding the ratchet. You could just about do these with, again, with a nut driver like I do the prop. That's enough. So I just put fuel in it, and now we're going to prime it up. Simply pumping the primer bulb is not going to do it. You have to touch the button on the back of the carburetor. So holding that in, now pumping slowly. Fuel is starting to come up. There it goes. And as soon as the fuel reaches the carburetor, stop. So we don't want to flood it. All right, so before we start the motor, once we've primed it, we definitely want to make sure that we always clear the throttle. I'm listening for that metallic metal clank on the throttle linkage. I can see that I have full actuation of the throttle. And now that I know that that's clear, I'm ready to go. I'll give it a couple slow pulls. And all right, and that's it. The complete assembly from the time it shows up on your doorstep to starting it. Any additional questions, you can contact us at 4windspppg.com. Thanks for watching.